Today's project is going to require some clothespins and a small bucket. The clothespins are easy to take apart. All you have to do is twist them and the springs come right off. When it comes to the clothespins, on the inside there's 3 grooves. We're concerned about the middle groove. All we have to do is use some hot glue. Put it on that middle groove and on the bottom one. That's going to hold our clothespin right where we need it. Just put the groove against it and that gives you the perfect lining that you need. We're going to do that with multiple amounts all the way around. You can do one at a time like I'm doing here, or what we can do is run some glue, maybe 2 or 3 clothespins wide, but you got to work fast. You got to make sure that glue doesn't set up. I like to do 2 at a time. They don't fit perfectly against the top. They're going to sit out a little bit. I like this look, so I push the bottom in. If you want to go ahead and push the top, make it against the top rim, you can do that also. On these clothespins, right when you get to the end, maybe and hopefully you'll get a good amount in there. You might have to sand one down to make it fit. I got lucky on this and I was able to get 2 of them in there. Nice. And there it is. And it's got that wonderful groove across the top. Now on the bottom, we don't want just a bucket showing. So I grabbed some rope from Dollar Tree, put a little bit of hot glue just to make it a starter on the bottom, push it in place. Very carefully, as I put a napkin down, run some glue on the bottom of the bucket and just keep pushing the rope in. Be careful, that hot glue is hot. And we're going to go all the way around the edge. Again, careful, just because this is our starter piece and we want to make everything line up. When we get to the end, it's going to bump up, but we don't want a drastic bump up. So take your hot glue right at the top of the starter rope and gradually go down. That way it's a slight incline and not just a bump. Once you do this, now it gets easier. You can put the rope on and the glue and just fold it on top. Again, that's why I love this spinning table that I made. Just keep going all the way around. Look at that. We're covering up the white bucket and it's just looking really good. When you get to the end of your rope, no pun intended, just go ahead and put it right on side there. Get it glued perfectly down and then start a new one. Now it comes time for stain. Use the stain of your choice, or you can just leave it bare. Some people like that look. Next, we need a wood or plastic hanger that's shaped like this, usually called a suit hanger. I took a square, put it against the inside edge of the hanger, and marked 90 degrees. We're actually going to cut on this line. We're also going to cut off the hanger part itself. I used a little jigsaw and just cut straight across. This one is plastic, so go slow. Those little bits can get a little warm, and cut across every line. Once we do that, turn your bucket over, and then we're going to hot glue our legs on. The skinny part goes on the top, and the fat part goes on the bottom. Again, remember the bucket is turned over, so run hot glue up and down the leg there, and push it in. Make sure it's 90 degrees, sticking straight up. If we do 4 of these across from each other, it makes it nice and steady and stable. On the back, I want to cover up the glue on the clothespin and put one of those last bits of rope that I have on there. The hot glue will hold it in place, bring it around to the front, and I'm going to tie a knot on it and make it look good and put the plant in. And watch this, when we come back, I'm going to show you what it can look like. And there it is, our wonderful new potting plant. I hope this inspired you to build your own DIY potted plant from Dollar Tree. Thanks for watching Hometalk, and we'll see you next time.
So the first thing you're going to do is just take a handful, and we need to start prying these babies apart. I've found the easiest way to do is to pull on the edges and then slide. And these little metal bits to just come apart. I'm making a big pile of them over here. Pull and slide. Once you've gotten your pile, you're going to go ahead and we're going to glue them together in pairs. I'm going to slide all this stuff over. I've found the easiest way for me to do it is I just take like 4 at a time. And we're going to take some Tight Bond Ultimate Wood Glue. And you can use a paper cup. I'm using, this is like a disposable dessert cup. You add a little bit to your paintbrush. And any kind of paintbrush will work. I like to use thinner ones because it's just easier to slide along. And you just add glue to the flat side. And you're going to take another one. The great thing about this glue is it gives you a little bit of time to work with it, but now I can set this down. I don't need to worry about laying it this way so it doesn't fall apart. Just go ahead and glue those together. And you're gonna do that for, like I said, about 2 dozen. Again, the beauty of these is they're so inexpensive that if you pull apart more than you need, you haven't used too many, you haven't wasted them, you can always set them aside for another. So I've already started putting one together because I know you guys have better things to do than watch me glue together 2 dozen of these, but this is what it's gonna look like. Here is my trick for everybody. Take something cylindrical. You can use a toilet paper roll. I'm just using a tub of glitter. I'm gonna take my glue back. And in this case, before we did the whole flat edge, in this case, we're just doing this flat edge. I'm gonna go ahead, add a little. And then you lay it down. Again, the great thing about the wood glue is it does give you a little give time. So it's not like, for example, hot glue, where if I put it down, I would have to make sure that it was exactly where I needed it. I let mine sit for about an hour or 2. But so that's one. This is one pattern. Let me show you this other really cool pattern. I'm gonna slide this guy on over and show you another trick. So one of the other patterns you can do is, instead of gluing them together like this, is to line them up like this and create this really cool sunburst pattern. Now, the cool thing about this is it looks amazing. The downside of this is, when we were first talking about doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna glue those individual pieces? Let me show you what we did. So we got them all together. Let me flip it this way because this is the way I did it. Again, we used this, put it in there, and I actually left it in there while I put all of the clothespins around, while your centerpiece, whatever you're using, toilet paper roll, glitter, is still in there, glitter roll still in there. You take painter's tape and you do crisscross, 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 crisscross. So diagonal, vertical, all the way around, and it actually holds it together. So you can see then when I take this out, this is one piece. I can flip it over and bend it, and that's how I'm gonna get the glue in between. Guys, this is like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Okay, let me glue a little bit of that to show you guys how that works. Sort of separate each one, get the paintbrush in there, and we're just gonna go all the way around. I'm not gonna make you guys watch me, but go all the way around. And then you just let this dry flat. And again, if you have any gaps, you just go over it with the wood glue. This is one of my favorite ways to work with intricate wood pieces. And then you're just gonna let this dry. Now that they've dried, we're gonna talk you through the process of spray painting and then adding a protective coating on them. So I've got the 2 that I had drying downstairs. Real quickly, I just wanna show you about peeling off the masking tape or the painter's tape. So you just really gently want to start peeling this back. And you want to especially be gentle, because just in case you missed 1 or 2 spots, you want to make sure you don't peel everything away. So we've got our paint triangles, which is, if you've watched some of my other shows, you know I love these more than words could express. So I'm just going to set those there. And why I think these are great is it lifts everything off of your work surface, but then it actually gives you a little less drying time, because while it's still a little bit tacky, then I could flip this over and start spray painting the other side. So I'm gonna move that one aside. I'm just gonna give it. And the really nice thing about these is if you've got like half cans of spray paint, this uses almost no paint at all. So it gives you, and then you can go around the sides. And I want to make sure I can use this in my kitchen under some plants. So what I'm gonna do, and here's how you remove the trigger. You just squeeze these little buttons underneath, that releases the paint can. Now I'm gonna be using, this is Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Cover Matte Clear. So it seals and protects. This withstands up to 200 degrees. So it's great if you want to use it for, say, a warm bowl on your dining room table. And this really doesn't need much at all. Let it dry, flip it over, do it again. And then this will be ready to go. Now, so we've spray painted, we've added the coating. Now let's go back inside and see what the end result looks like. And that, my friends, is how you take $2 worth of wooden clothespins and make yourself some fun decorative trivets for your home decor. You can use them for plants. This one I just painted with a clear coat. It'd be really pretty with a plant on top. Or remember, 200 degrees or less, you can go ahead and put hot bowls on there and add a little bit of color to your dining room table. I hope you guys have liked this episode. Please follow me. I think the follow button is over there somewhere, so you know when my next episodes will be on. I'll see you guys next time on Home Talk. Bye-bye.